Digital Romance TV.
Hi, this is Claire Casey for Digital Romance TV, and today I want to talk to you about those articles that you see all the time in dating and relationship magazines, or just magazines for women, sometimes for men. You might see them in GQ or Detail magazine or Glamour or Redbook. Anyway, the problem with the articles about where all the single, in my case, single men are, or the best cities for dating, or the best cities for getting a date or finding a man, there are several problems. We're going to talk about them, but they are so influential in women's thinking that I wanted to do a video explaining why they are a major problem, what kind of data those articles are based on, and why it's misleading you and making you think there are no men where you live. The first thing is that they base them on population ratio of males to females in a particular place. But the truth is, at least in the United States, that ratio is very close to equal. It is not equal. There are slightly more women than there are men, but the percentage points are so small. It's not like 60-40 or anything like that. It's more like 48-52. So those percentage points are so tiny, there is no reason in the world that should even be taken into consideration. The second thing that those articles that are telling you the best cities for singles or for dating that they're using is they're using mass transit options. For example, how many bus lines there are, or whether or not there is a subway or train that you can take to get from one place to another. And of course, really only the major urban hubs are going to have those. Even medium-sized or small-sized cities are going to have a bus line, but truthfully, the great majority of people in middle-sized or smaller-sized cities or rural areas don't use that method of transportation all the time. It seems a little crazy to think that so much dating is going to happen only if there's mass transit options. So the other thing that they will take into consideration is fitness, and I see this equally used about the same number of times as I find academic ratings. So the fitness rating is how many gyms that city or area has, and the other is how many schools does it have. Both of those I have issues with because, for example, my man happens to be very fit, and he has a weight set at home, and he runs regularly, and he does yoga on his own, but he doesn't have a gym membership and never has. That's just not his thing. And the academic evaluation points that these articles use, that bothers me because, for example, I make my living doing what you're seeing right now, giving relationship advice and writing books for women to help them with their own self-esteem and understanding of what it means to let a man woo and win you. And I don't have a degree in that. That's not what I went to school for. And how many of us are doing what we went to school for anyway? I'm not sure that that's the best possible way to evaluate whether a city is a good one, just because it has X number of colleges and X number of bus lines. That's a real problem for me. The last one, and this is the biggest one, and you probably already guessed this one if you were even thinking about it halfway, and that is the bars. How many bars are in a given city? This one drives me crazy. I hate this one. I would never use bars to try and find dates. That's maybe where some people have found guys that they've loved dating, or maybe they've found hookups there. But that's not the number one way to date anymore. If it was ever, I'm not sure if it was ever, but I just wanted you to know what factors those articles are using, number one, population ratio of males to females, which is pretty much in the United States pretty close to equal. Number two, mass transit options, how many bus lines or train lines, subway lines there are. Number three, academic or fitness, how many schools there are and how many gyms there are. That doesn't even take into account online learning, does it? And then finally, the bar scene, which is the worst one of all of them. That's how they decide that a city is awesome for dating, and I just don't agree with them in any way. So if you read one of those, the next time you read one, be aware of those things, because there are men where you are. There are wonderful ways to find and date them, and they may not be in a bar, and you may not be in a city that has a subway. And it may not be a guy who goes, has an advanced degree or even has a college degree, or has gotten one at a brick and mortar university. So don't let those articles throw you off. Don't let them make you think that you're in a city that's not wonderful, that has a fabulous man that who will find you and chase you and win you, because it just isn't the case. Don't let that happen to you. My very best to you. This is Claire Casey for Digital Romance TV, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Did you know there's a 3-step formula to make a guy fall desperately in love with you? Go to digitalromance.tv/CHH to learn a simple method any woman can use to capture a man's heart and make him love you forever. Again, that link is digitalromance.tv/CHH.